How do you know when it's time to pull out?
Of an event.
Of an event. This is business advice because I'm wearing my Sex Geek Summer Camp t-shirt, which means we're talking about business for sex educators and workshop leaders and facilitators. This is Cathy Bartulli from the intimacydojo.com.
This is Reid from readaboutsex.com and sexgeeksummercamp.com.
Okay, when do you pull out, Cathy?
Well, actually, when I was my very first event that I held outside of an engineering event, I was not sure. I was like, oh my God, it's kind of, the venue's kind of expensive, and I was doing a meet and greet for Buck Angel and a VIP dinner afterwards. And I mean, I was like, wow, I don't know. Like, this is a lot of money. And you told me to figure out what my bottom line was, and to figure out a date that if it wasn't, I didn't have enough sales by that date, that I would, have to tell, hey, Buck, let's cancel this event. And that was really brilliant, because for me, it was just like, I'm going to plow ahead no matter what, but how am I going to pay for this?
So what I call that is a kill date or a kill number. Some people don't like the word kill, so whatever you need to call it. Cancel, whatever. Like, make your own word and own that. I use kill date. What I mean by that is, and why this is important, is if you don't have that figured out, if by this date,
I have so many people. Like, what's your break-even number?
Yeah, which everybody in different businesses, different kinds of overhead, you need to calibrate this differently. But for me, what I'm looking for is has the event paid for itself by a certain time, by a certain amount of ticket sales or sponsorship deals or whatever that is, so that I know moving forward I'm making money from this point on. Like the plane has gotten off the runway and is above tree level.
Yes.
Why that's useful is if you don't have that figured out,
you're just kind of in the dark.
Yeah, but you automatically go into, we're gonna make this work mode, no matter what mode. And that's the kiss of death, because it creates more stress the closer you get to the event. What you want to do is design for yourself a way that the closer you get to the event, the easier it gets, the more relief. There's always going to be a certain amount of with any event, but then you hire an event organizer to do that for you, which means you need to, are you making enough money to pay your event organizer to handle the and then you just have your normal that you do whenever you do an event.
And for me, for Buck Angel's event, it went off great. It was fun. We had such a great time. But knowing that, calculating how many ticket sales, like actually dividing the cost by the number of ticket sales, figuring out how many more I had to have by a certain date, I was getting experience, and it was a credibility builder. This is when I had nobody knew who I was.
No one in Dallas knew who.
There was no community really in Dallas at that time. It was a way to build community, build credibility, meet some really cool people, and learn. So I was willing to actually take a loss if I needed to, but I wanted to have it managed. I was like, okay, if I lose $1,000 on this event, I'm still feeling like I won.
So it's like $1,000 course for you, crash course for you to learn
and
all
I
this
learned
stuff.
So much stuff. But for me at that time, I was willing. Like, you can decide that. Like, this is a huge credibility builder, and maybe I'm wanting to build momentum the first year. It might be okay if I lose a little bit of money. You can calculate that, and it doesn't have to be that I'm break even by 3 weeks before I'm just pulling the plug.
Yeah, there could be an emotional break even. It's we have to make this work no matter what. That creates a whole thing that is not good for your reptile brain. It's not good for the people that work for you. And you start anchoring, if you don't fix that, you don't change it, every event starts to be like that for you, which means you burn out faster, and then we lose a good sex educator or workshop facilitator.
A couple things to look at is when you're signing with venues, see if you can get a cancellation date. Like, if I cancel a month ahead, can I get my money back or most of my money back? The restaurant I worked with was like, they said it's $500 whether you come or not, but at 3 weeks you have to pay for the food for the dinner. So I had some leeway on that. Some places won't do that, and you might be out that money, so you might decide if you're going to have to refund tickets too, you might actually be losing more money. So keep that in your calculations, and try to find ways to make sure that if you cancel the event, you can just refund tickets. I had a cancellation policy. Like, there was the off chance like Buck's plane wouldn't be there, or he might have been sick and unable to attend. So I made sure that said, in the rare event we might have to cancel, I will refund your tickets, or we will try to reschedule.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had that written. That gives you a little bit of freedom too.
Which is really, and this is stuff that we talk about at camp,
yeah.
And in SG3. You're always educating. Always be educating, Abe. Always be educating and educating your attendees what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, not all of them are going to read everything, but if it's there,
you can
the ones who do trust you more, because now they're like, oh, in the rare event that the Bucks plane gets canceled or whatever, they know how it's going to happen next, and that will start to build because you're building a relationship with people. They start to trust you in a world where so many educators don't tell them what happens next, and then they get surprised, and then they're dissatisfied because you weren't managing expectations or concerns, and then why are they going to come to your next event? And for you, building a reputation in Dallas
and starting a community was
when nobody knew who you were. Yeah. This was really useful.
Yeah, it was wonderful, and I'm so glad it actually came off fantastic. And you hosted, and we had a blast. And Buck's amazing. It was great to have him in my home.
You made a friend.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Business, bringing people together.
But knowing what your exit strategies are when things are going great, that's the best time to have them and know where they are, because it makes you feel really reassured. And if the wheel does come off, if Buck had had to fly someplace else for a family emergency or whatever, I felt covered.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So exit strategies for your events. Knowing what your kill date, your kill numbers are, or whatever we're doing.
And talk to the people. If you're co-organizing, discuss that when you're setting it up. Really important.
What are your thoughts? Leave a comment. Hit subscribe.